Hello, hi, give me thumbs up if you can hear me, see me. Come on everybody. Hi, thank you for joining me. Hi Sue, just sent you a message. Well, am I being brave? I'm outside. I've kept my coat on, I've kept my trainers on because it's a bit cold, isn't it? Well, actually it's beautiful and sunny, that's why I wanted to be outside. I have been sat at my desk all day and I need my vitamin D, so here I am. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, Sue? Can't hear me. Oh yeah, okay. Can you give me a thumbs up to say you can hear me, Gina? Are you allowed to give me another thumbs up? Or Sue, give me a thumbs up. Fab, thank you. Perfect. Right, so by special request, balls tonight, big balls. I've learned a lesson that you don't need the ball rock hard. It actually makes a lot of things more difficult. So I've let quite a bit of air out of mine. I haven't put weight on yet, I've just let some air out. So have a bounce around on your ball just to, you know, who's boss, see who's boss. Da, 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 da. Okay, well it's gone 6, so I am going to start. I hope I don't get too cold because it's quite windy, but anyway, so I'm leaving my trainers on and I'm leaving my jacket on for a minute. So remember, when we're on the ball, we use the ball a lot. You'll find a lot of physiotherapists use the ball because it can make exercises a lot easier by taking your weight and by being soft. So you're not sat in a chair, and because if you were sat in a chair you couldn't move around, but you can on your ball. So it's really, really good, but I know lots of ways to make exercises harder as well, and some of you here are my hardcores, so I will give an easy level first. If you realise what the hard level is, go straight to it, or just hang around and I'll tell you. Okay, so we are going to do some lunges which are tough, but I haven't brought the timer with me, so we're just going to crack on. Well, set your watches, otherwise we weren't even here to, I've set it to Pilates. Right, so to set up the body as though you can do this standing up, all of this can be done standing up, but here we go, feet together. Turn your toes out at 10 to 2, lift your heels behind. And if you look then, you are in correct alignment. Now we want to get the neck lengthened, so you just pull the middle of the head there, lift, take your shoulders down and back. Now we want neutral spine. To find your neutral spine, hands on your hips, tip them out, tip them under, tip them out. Make that movement as big as you like, 'cause it's really quite nice. And also, moving the ball around gives you a bit of confidence. You're in charge. Okay, now make that movement smaller and smaller, and stop in the middle and you will have your neutral spine. Engaging your core is exactly the same as when you're standing up. Put your hands on your belly and cough, and make your hands go in as you cough, so it's pelvic floor on the ball is brilliant, because, not being funny here, but you can almost feel it, the ball on the floor on the ball. So when you're working your pelvic floor, it's brilliant to it's much easier to realise what you're working. So if you look at me now, when I put my hands on my thighs, now if I do my pelvic floor but I rise up, can you see me rising up? I'm actually squeezing my bum muscles, my glutes. And also if I have my hands on my thighs and I do my pelvic floor, if I can feel my thigh muscles clenching, then I know I'm using the wrong muscles again. And then you can also put your hands on your belly, and if you do your pelvic floor and feel your belly move, you're using the wrong muscles again. So now we've narrowed it down. Don't use those, don't use those, don't use those. What's left? The one right inside. So it's really good to practice while you're sitting on the ball. Now we want to cough, and as you cough, bring your pelvic floor up. And now leave it there. And now while you've got your pelvic floor up, cough again and bring your belly in. So you want to take your belly button close to your spine. Let it out a little bit. Hold the pelvic floor. While you've got your pelvic floor clenched and your abs clenched, your tummy, now we're going to do some mobility. So without losing that or that, we're just going to turn the face to one side and back, and to the side and back. So all these mobility exercises you can do anywhere. You can do them at your office desk, you can do them in the car while you're at the traffic lights, you can do them while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. Always do a matching pair, both sides, and always only go up to, not into pain. So if you have, keep going, if you have a neck injury, say this is stiffness, then you only go to here, don't force it ever. And then if you keep mobile, your injury has chance to repair, and then you'll find gradually you can get further and further. Now we're going to draw a circle with the nose. Small circle first, and then make it as big as is comfortable. So we always call it mild tension, or up to, not into pain. I have to tell you at this, you keep going, I have to tell you at this point, it's very important that you have permission to exercise off your doctor, because I can't see you, we've not had a conversation about your ailments, injuries, anything like that, so you can't hold me responsible if you overdo it yourself and hurt yourself. So please just go up to, not into pain. If you've been told not to do any exercise, do not do any exercise. These videos will be here forever, so you can watch them anytime you like. You don't have to do it tonight. So look after yourself, please. You've got one body and you need to look after it. Okay, so shoulders. Now let's circle the shoulders back. It's lovely when the wind drops. And forward. That's really nice. Again, at your desk, if you're feeling a bit tight in across the chest because you've been sat like this, this is really good. Now let's do a little test. See how much movement you've got. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. And more. And now take them all the way down. Look how much gap you can get between your ears and your shoulders. Now bring them forward, so you're trying to make a U shape here. And now bring them back as far as you can. And up. And down. And forward. And backwards. It's good, isn't it? And now circle them again. You'll probably go a little bit further now. And the other way. Now we're going to bring the whole arm in. So still got your core tight, still got your pelvic floor lifted. Small one first. And then as big as you like. Without bringing the shoulders up to the ears, I'm actually going to risk it and take this off. So you can see that I'm not bringing my shoulders up to my ears, I'm leaving my shoulders down but still circling my arms. Change direction. Remember, the breathing is in through the nose for 4 and out through the nose for 4. Out through the mouth for 4. Okay, let's do the I must increase my bust. I must increase my bust. I must. See how my shoulders and my arms are always shoulder height, not down here, up here. Are we all enjoying the lockdown or your newfound freedom? Now diagonal. A bit mad, isn't it, out there? We are so lucky. Well, I'm so lucky, and some of you are where we live. Crikey. Okay, we're moving down to the waist. Put your hands on your hips. And you know we've started moving the ball. Just do a little circle with the hips. Now the ball's moving now. Now make it as big as you like. So you see I'm scrunching here and out, scrunching. If you feel a bit unsafe, you can take your feet a bit wider, but otherwise leave them where they are. And the other way. Just showing this ball who's the boss. Nice snap. Okay, now hands down by the side of the ball and take the one arm down as far as you can without any pain, without leaning forward. Not leaning forward and definitely not leaning back because you'll fall off. Tummy tight to spine. Keep going. Okay, now the feet. This is one for the feet. So I'm going to go on tiptoe on one foot, tiptoe on the other foot. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. And both together. And now lift your feet, both of them. Yeah, let's do the wrists while we're there. We need those, we're doing something later. Not press-ups, I promise. Nearly as bad. But there's an alternative if you've got weak or injured or dodgy wrists. Okay, now we're going to, this is a bit of balance now. We're going to take one foot off the floor and replace it. And the other one, and replace it. Now go as high as you can, squeezing your tummy. See the speed is controlled. This, if you're doing this, you're using momentum to help you. So it's controlled lift, controlled lower. Controlled lift, controlled lower. Squeeze the belly, squeeze the pelvic floor. Okay, we're changing it now. This is a bit tricky. We're going to lift, take it out, bring it back and down at this speed. Keep that belly tight, core tight, belly tight, abs switched on. All means the same thing. Listen to that. You can't hear anything except the pigeon and the birds. Matching pair, just one more. Okay, now we're just going to straighten the legs. So we're rolling the ball back, straightening the legs. Rolling the ball back, straightening the legs. So while we're here, it's a very good time. We're in the right position to do crunches. So crunches, we're rolling the ball back, bringing it forward. Are you managing to get your legs straight? Right, so a crunchie is basically an extension of that. So I've always got my back in contact with the ball, which is why it's better than doing, when you're doing a crunchie on the floor, your back is hanging in midair. But when you're doing a crunchie on the ball, your back is always supported, look. So the ball is in contact. I'm going down this far, that's all I'm doing. Keep that tight, 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 and back up. That's it. Always supported. Now, if you come up and relax, you're having a big rest. So it will take you you might take dozens to feel it working. People say that. So instead of doing that, keep this tight the whole time. Even here, tight, tight, tight. And here, keep it tight. And I'm not coming right up and resting. I'm slightly staying there just to keep it switched on. And if that's still very, very easy for you, as some of you are, instead of having your hands here, you could have them here, because the more weight you have at your head end, the heavier this lot is. You could even have it here, or you could have some weights here, but I prefer this. Rest when you need to, work when you don't. So I'm feeling that a bit now. Hi, somebody else has just joined in. Keep going, keep going. I'm going to give you some waves. Les McTaggarty! Hi Simon. Hi Simon. Who else have I got there? Angela, hi. Kay, come on Kay, coming back, lovely. Sandra, thank you. Keep going, keep going. Don't forget, rest when you need to, because I can't feel a thing that you're doing. I can only feel what I'm doing. This is the kind of thing I'll do while I'm watching telly, much to Simon's annoyance. Okay, now then, the best rest for this is to come up and just slump over and hang around. So I'll always give you rests, you know most of them. Just have some nice rest whenever you need to. We always stretch off at the end anyway. Alright, next big exercise. Now this is a weird one, and some of you have got some of you have got really big balls and it might be a problem for you. But if you've got normal sized balls, so I'm standing now with this tight, so actually my feet are tight, almost trying to go under the ball. Now I bring myself upright, tight core, tight pelvic floor. I'm going to squeeze my bum and squeeze my knees in. It's not, can you, I don't even know if you can see it moving. Can you see it moving? But anyway, massive workout for the inner thighs. So I'm upright, keep the core tight. When you need to rest, just sit down on the ball. Completely new move to all of you, this one. So I know one of you there has got the really great big ball. Good luck with that. God, can you feel them working and feel your bum working? If you've got any questions, I can see when you send me a question. Hey, I'm getting good now, aren't I? Multitasking. Multitasking indeed. Oh, can't do that. You keep going. I was cold, that's why I had my hair around my neck. But it's lovely now. Okay, if that's not working hard enough for you, because I think I've got to do that for too long really, and you know what I'm like, I get a bit impatient. So now I'm going to do a big squeeze and pulse there. Pulse, 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 pulse. Pelvic floor lifted. Stomach in. Pulse, pulse. Oh, I can feel it now. Core. Okay, I've had enough. I don't know about you. So I'm going to sit down on the ball, open your legs, and just take them wide. It's brilliant. And enjoy this stretch because the next one is a biggie. The next one will get your heart rate up. It's the lunges, but with the ball as a weight. I will show you while you just carry on stretching. So look here. I'll do it without the ball to show you what we're doing. A lunge is, I'm doing back lunge. I don't know why I like them better. So I take 1 foot wide and then I dip down, but I want to keep in right angle so I don't lean over. Definitely don't let my belly go like that. Keep it in and dip down. Now look, I've got my knee almost to the floor and then back up and in, change leg. If you are quite strong in the leg, you can do 10 on one leg, then 10 on the other leg. But if you are new to this, you want to alternate your legs. Okay, so that's what you can do. And if you really hate going backwards, I like going backwards, you can go forwards. You can even walk around. So now we bring the ball in. So you can do it like that, Or you can do what we're intending to do. So I have the ball here, and as I also engage your core, shoulders down and back, lift your pelvic floor. As I take my foot back and dip down, I take the ball up, because squeezing the ball so I don't drop it on my head is working my shoulders. And back up. So there's 2, 3. So as you know, when we're in the studio, we walk up and down the studio doing this. Notice that my leg is not going behind me, because that will cause you trouble with balance. I think this is 5. I need my counting monitor, Ellen. 6, 7. Notice the speed. 8, 9, 10. And back up. Shake your legs off if you need to, and then we change sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brilliant, well done. Okay, shake them off. We're going to do a side one. Now then, if you haven't got bad knees, the object is to be doing it on the floor. But I'll give you the alternative first if you have got bad knees. If you've got bad knees, lean on the ball, hand on your hip, and we're side lifting the leg, slowly, under control. So it's not fling it up, it's bring it up. Okay, but what we're actually doing down here, we're leaning over the ball. You can keep your knee on the floor, and we're side lifting that leg. Or some of you diehards, we have the knee off the floor and we take the leg. So this is working all down the side. If you look, and keep going, if you look end on, I'm not leaning forward, I've got no kink in my body, I'm nice and straight, and now I'm lifting, keeping that core engaged. Okay? Does my bum look big in this? So you've probably done about 6 now. So on 10, my 10, 7, 8, we're going to keep the leg up and pulse. 9, 10, pulse, 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 pulse. And lower it. So if you realise now that it's a bit tough, you can put your knee down, or the stretch is simply this. So you can go into that if you want to. Do you think you can do one more lot of pulses? My bottom leg's shaking. Remember, shaking legs when you're working out is fine. When you're stretching, shaking legs causes me to shout at you because it's really bad for you. Well done. Core. Bring that foot forward, bash the bum, and of course you've got to do all the same on the other side. So I won't show you my bum, I will change sides like this. So remember, if you've got a bad knee, you can be here. If you haven't got a bad knee and you're new to my classes, leave your knee on the floor. If you're one of my regulars or you know all about Pilates and you're pretty strong, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Core engaged. 7. You know what? If you fall off, don't worry. It's not very far. I think that's 9, 10. Pulse. Killer. Oh, and 10. It's alright, we're lying down after this one. Okay, pulse. This is why I can't do exercise to music. I can't even count to 4. Let alone spell it. Brilliant, well done. Bring it forward. Bash it and hang around. Bashing it gets the blood flow back to the bum muscles, so that's why it's good for you. Anyway, we get a lie down now. I shall show you from the side. And I'll show you first without the ball, because some of you are new to my class. Okay, so the exercise, we're going to be holding the ball here. So I've got my knees hip distance apart and my feet hip distance apart. Arch your back and squeeze down on your hand. And I don't mean by tilting your hips up. Can you see the difference? Keep your hips down, bring your ribs down to your hips. So the same effect. This is switching your six pack on, which you've got under there. Take your hands to the sky. Make sure this doesn't move, keep it tight, and take the arms over the head. So if you can do that without your back lifting even a millimetre off the floor, then we grab the ball and we do the same thing here. Okay? So that might be enough for some of you. If you've got any back issues, stick with that. But what the rest of us are going to do, bring one leg up to tabletop and then bring the other leg to join it. Again, if your back comes off the floor at all, it's too strong for you, go back. You could do one leg on the floor, but otherwise bring 2 knees up. So now this is called Dave Bug. It's a bit of a brain workout. Let's try just moving one hand, one leg, and the other leg. Got it? Now we combine the two. I'm going to do one hand and the opposite leg. Have a little think which hand, which leg. So here we go. This one, and I went wrong. And this one, and the other one. And as you know, your arms and legs are levers. Physics, the longer the lever, the harder it is. So some of you would be doing this here. Okay? But again, if your back comes even an inch off the floor, a centimetre, a millimetre off the floor, all it means, don't worry about it, all it means is you're not quite strong enough yet. So if this is lifting, or as you've done a few, keep going, as you've done a few, and your back starts to lift up, stop, reset, because you've lost the contraction in the core, so it's not doing you any good, and it could be hurting your back. So all you have to do when you've had enough, stop, bring it down and go to a lower level. Honestly, it works a treat. If you do it like that, you will build up your muscles really quickly instead of hurting yourself. You've been warned. When you need to rest, curl into a ball, roll around on your spine, by the way. Just warning. So there's lots of options there. That's why Pilates is so good for you, because there's lots of levels. And I have had some of you people, as you know who you are, you've been coming to me for a very long time. So I can't give you the base level anymore. You'd be bored. So I have to make it more difficult and more difficult. Okay, so hug your knees into your chest, roll around on your spine, and perhaps drop one leg out. Keep one tight in, and swap. So we've got another one very similar. So I think side on it might look the same. So I'm going to have my head to you rather than show you my bum. Same thing, here we go. In the same starting position, make sure your back is down on the floor. Now take your hand out to the side and the other side. Now look, one knee out to the side and back in, out to the side and back in. Now have a little think which arm, which foot, and now we take one out and the other one. So we're using those inner thighs again. So what's happening is my hand is pushing the ball that way onto my knee, and my knee is pushing it onto my hand, so everything is getting a workout. Rest when you need to by hugging your knees into your chest. Go side on. Looks like this. Notice the speed is nice and calm. Rest when you need to. Okay, and relax. Same stretch. Knees tight into your chest, roll around on your spine. Take one leg out for a stretch. Bring it back in, and the other leg out for a stretch. Bring it back in. Right, this one's quite an advanced move. If you've not got very long hamstrings, you'll have to keep your legs bent. But some of you, I know, will be able to do this. So I've got my legs bent, ball up in the air. So I could have my legs here, whichever, doesn't matter. So it's a crunchy. Take the ball, put it back. Take the ball. There's an advanced move. If you come down and relax everything, you're having a bit of a picnic, aren't you, down there, and you're having a rest. So you could just stay here and keep it all switched on the whole time instead of having a rest. If that's too difficult for you, just go back to this one here. But otherwise, keep this one going. How are you doing? Got any messages? I can see them. Okay, we're ready. Finish that one off. Again, hug your knees into your chest, roll around on your spine. So while we're here, it's handy to do shoulder bridge. So as you know, shoulder bridge without the ball, you have your knees hip distance apart, backs on the floor, feet are hip distance apart, shoulders are down and back, hands are by your side. Inhale, as you inhale, you lift the tail of your bum. So now the opposite of what I said. Before when I said leave your bum down and take your ribs down, now you pelvic tilt, peel your back off the floor, one vertebrae at a time. While you're here, you can do loads of things, can't you? And you could do shoulder mobility. But anyway, you can go back down one vertebrae at a time. With the ball, you put the ball under your legs. So actually the easier option is to have the ball close to the back of my thighs with my feet, calves resting on the ball. Just have a little practice by lifting your bum off the floor and waving it around. And putting it back down, lifting it, waving it around. This is just showing the ball who's boss. My problem is I'm on a bit of an angle, so the ball keeps wanting to roll off. So I'm going to go like this. Okay, lift it, roll it round. Now the exercise, you can carry on doing that if you want to, or you can lift it and push the ball away so you're in a nice ski slope straight line. And here you can pulse, pulse, pulse. Or if you want to go for it, you bring it back and you take it out. When you bring it back, don't let your bum drop to the floor because that's like having a rest, cheating. So you keep your bum lifted, bring it back. So for the diehards, you push the ball further away for your starting position and you lift and you stay here, or you bring it back. You choose. Now this one, when you're doing this like this, it's a really tough one on your hamstrings. I'm just warning you, you might get cramp. If you get cramp, get that hamstring straight. You keep going as quickly as you can so it doesn't grab hold. But a lot of people say when they're doing this they might get cramp. Be warned. So I'm going back out. In, out. Not fast, so it's not pulling it in and pushing it out. It's controlled and slow. Hello. The hurricane has arrived. This is tough, isn't it? Hello. Oh, by the way, the noise my thing makes is because I've got rice in there. So I'm coming back in and doing this because my hamstring injury, it's not good for it. And it's particularly bad at the moment. All right, let's give that a miss and... Okay, so she's stealing the show. Now take one leg down again. You're bonkers. Pull both knees in tight, arms out to the T, feet to the floor. We're just stretching a minute. Off to one side gently. Back in, off to the other side gently. Back in. I'm giving you that stretch because we've got a bit of tough work coming on now. Right. So we just need to have a practice on the ball. She's stealing my thunder. So, when you're doing exercises with a ball, like I said to you before, a physiotherapist could use the ball if you've got weak shoulders or a weak back and you need to do some exercise. But what it's doing is supporting your weight, so it's really good. But you can do the exercises here. Oh, I need to move. Or you can do the exercises. I suggest most of you start with the ball under your hips. And the first exercise we're going to do is taking one foot off the ball and back on, and the other, and back on. But the main thing is you don't have a saggy back. It's really bad for you. You have to keep your back supported. If you can't keep it supported, don't worry. Just move the ball to your hips. So some of you I know are diehards. So I'm coming back for a new position here, where I'm taking the ball under my feet. Again, if your back goes saggy, change it. But we're going to drop and drop. There's one you can do quickly, this is. Very strong workout. If you can't do that, you can just hold plank. This is plank, it's a killer. And the rest, and I'll show you the rest, because you'll need it. The rest is here. Okay? But otherwise, let's go. Rest when you need to. Right, whose wrists are killing them? Shake them off. Shake them that way. Shake them that way. And snake them, it's lovely. And the other way. Okay, next one. It's a bit of a killer. Right. Two ways of doing this. If your wrists are weak from what you've just done, you can put your forearms on the ball. I have to lick my hands because my ball's quite slippy. But otherwise, we're up here. So we're in this position here, and then take both legs out. High plank. Now, I know a lot of you hate that. So you can have your hands this here. Take one leg out. When you're comfy, take the other leg out. If you need to put your chest down a bit, you can, but otherwise lift off. So it's a big shoulder workout, big back workout, big bum workout. And while you're here, if you want to, you can bring one knee in and the other knee in. If you want to be up here, make sure I don't slip. I've had a few moments. Over here in plank, one leg in and the other leg in. I'm only going to do 10. Belly tight, bum tight. This is the last exercise. The rest is all stretching. Lost count. I think this is 10. And hang over the ball. So really hang over. So what that's doing now is releasing all that pressure off my back that I've had. Okay, we know how I like to multitask. We're going to do lots of stretches at once. So if you take your knees wide, have your feet together, I've got an inner thigh stretch, and we need that because we've done, we did lots of exercises using the inner thighs. Put your hands on the ball, roll the ball out and drop down. It's child pose, but wide leg child pose, but because your hands are on the ball instead of on the floor like that, you can actually stretch your shoulders a bit more. So some of you I know will be right down here. So I'm now stretching my shoulders, my inner thighs, my back, my shoulders. And we hold these stretches. Do you remember I said just a minute ago that you might have legs or muscles shaking when you're working out, when you're working them? When you're stretching them, you must not have shaking muscles. It means you're overdoing it and you could then injure yourself. So never go into shaking muscles when you're stretching. Now I'm just going to move the ball slightly to one way, but leave everything else where it is. So now I'm getting a side stretch. And now move it back to the middle and off to the other side. So I'm getting a side stretch now, all the way from here down to here. Bring it back, bring it up. Now we're going to have a lazy side stretch. So I'm on my knees, facing the front. And then I just relax till I've got my hand over the side. I'm leaving my knee on the floor, feel quite safe. And then take my arm over and feel that lovely stretch, similar stretch to what we've just done. So I'm feeling the stretch all down my arm, all down here. And relax into it. Change sides. Oh, what's happening? Oh gosh, low battery. Luckily we've nearly finished. Okay, sit on the floor with the ball by you while I just get rid of that and that and that. Right, we're going to stretch the hamstrings, which are the backs of the legs. These are your hamstrings, they go into your bum. That's where my injury is, if you remember. Right, so I'm leaning back. First part is to pull your toes up towards your face. So for me, I've got quite long hamstrings because I do stretch them all the time. So I have no stretch at all there. So what I do now is I just sit up a little bit, sit up a bit more, just getting a stretch now. In fact, I get it all down my calf. So I don't go into shaking, I leave it there. And actually, believe it or not, relax. Gorgeous night. Anybody else outside? A bit cold, hands are cold. And to get out of it, simply round your back and then take your leg off to swap over. Same again. So you might have your stretch here. As soon as you start to push your chest forward, and in actual fact your lower back forward, that's when the stretch comes on. But for me, I just need a little bit more. So if you've got any questions, text me or WhatsApp me or Facebook me or Instagram me. I'll leave this on Facebook Live, so it'll be there forever. And then I also, if you remember, put it onto my YouTube channel, which is mainly Pilates. And if you go there, they will stay there forever and ever. Relaxing off. And next week, I reckon it's got to be legs next week, isn't it? So there'll be no balls, but it is going to be hard work. But there'll be lots of stretches as well, don't forget. So thank you very much, and lovely to see some new faces on here. Well, I wish I could see you, but we will soon, won't we? Hang on in there. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Now I've got to turn it off.